There is a 44th dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as vertical space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between shoot or pass, between science and superstition. And it lies between the pit of man's fears and the speed of his jump shot. This is the dimension of rim protection. It is an area in which we call the Timelord Zone.
The Timelord Zone. And of course, Chris Forsberg, you are super excited. The possibility of Timelord being back on the court as soon as tomorrow, Friday night, against the Orlando Magic. Let's reintroduce the people to Rob Williams.
Dude, look, if you need a history lesson on what Rob can do, I feel a little bit bad for you. You should know by now. But here's the thing, and I've been excited for the better part of a week, right? Like, I thought it might happen out there in San Francisco when they were going up against the Warriors. Didn't quite look right as he was going through 3-on-3 drills. Maybe get yourself another week. I don't know if it's going to be Friday night or maybe it'll stretch out a little bit further. But the fact of the matter is he's coming back. And what can Rob do? Well, let's start with defensively, Amina. This team hasn't been anywhere near what it can be and what we saw last season. They're going to reinsert Rob into that free safety role, and he is just going to be roaming all over the place, blocking shots, deterring people at the rim, and it's going to completely change the way this team plays defense. A lot of the little things that have contributed to them being less than crisp and less than what we've seen last year will be alleviated. I'm not saying he's going to be a magic potion, especially when he first comes back, probably only going to play 10, 15 minutes a night. But just having him out there in that presence is going to change you. The Celtics have made good strides in the last, say, 10 games and have crawled towards a top 10 defense. But once Rob's up there, if they're not elevated to a top 5 defense, I would be very surprised. And he just changes the entire dynamic of how they play.
I got excited just watching him with all those blocks. We haven't seen that many blocks like that.
There's been a lot of clock blocks going on.
We have not seen a lot of blocks like that. Just also, how does he impact the assists for this Celtics team as well?
So I think one of the most underrated things is we call him the Time Lord, but if you want to call him the Dime Lord, that's fine too, because if his ability to facilitate out of the high post, very similar to Al Horford. You can put the ball in his hands. Your shooters can either cut or come off screens. And so Rob is going to make it easier for those shooters to get buckets. And I think one thing that a lot of people have said to me is well, you're not going 5 out anymore. Does that hurt the spacing of this team? You can still stretch Rob out there. He can facilitate and kick to players, but also now he's rolling to the rim. And if you're telling me that you think that center isn't going to follow him trying to prevent an alley-oop, I think his ability to pass and create offensively just, again, adds a whole nother level of dynamic to this team that it didn't have previously.
I know we've gotten excited about Blake Griffin and his dunks to start this season, but how much will we miss? I mean, Rob Williams dunking at the basket. I cannot wait to see that.
I have this, the screensaver on my phone is my kids.
Yes.
But
I thought you were going to say Rob Williams.
But there is an alternate one, which is this dunk in San Antonio where Rob is so high above the rim, and Derek White is actually down here looking up at him. And what we forget, when I'm watching games, I'm often saying to myself, what if that's not Luke Cornett going up for that alley-oop? What if it's not Blake Griffin trying to hop in his time machine? If it's Rob, you're going to see stuff like this where he's just flying around at the rim and throwing down dunks. And now again, should we expect him to be flying around at quite this Time Lord level, coming off his 2 surgeries and working his way back? Probably. Because even in practice, I've heard guys say he still does these little things that make you go, oh yeah, that's what he's capable of. I don't think he'll be exploding 13 feet high through the gym just yet. But it's coming, and by 3 months from now, 6 months when the playoffs roll around, we can get really, really excited about what Rob will be doing.
I give it a month.
All right, I'm in.
I'm excited. I give it a month before Rob Williams is out there really, really dunking on people, because, I saw the videos on social media from practice and shoot around and things like that. It looks like he's in good shape to me. I'm not going to lie.
I'm telling you, you should have seen me running around in San Francisco. I was just woo!
Super excited.
Rob's coming back.
He's just so excited.